Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur show. Man United podcast meets the Ballers at the Bridge podcast meets Talking That Tottenham Talk podcast, where we discuss those three football clubs with Manchester United. Even though it is international break, can't stay out of the news. Rumors of a Lisandro Martinez injury. How true it is, I don't know. Please let me know in the chat if any reliable sources have said anything in regards to that. Mazarari, hopefully he is okay. There was some form of, they said it was cardiac. So to do with his heart, I believe he's okay and he's going to be able to play soon enough in a number of weeks. So it's not going to be the 2 months as reported, but hopefully he's all right. In regards to Manchester United, Ineos, them jokers, as Kaneki eloquently put it, incompetent nitwits enjoying our suffering. Incompetent nitwits enjoying our suffering. Ten Hag is still in charge. There's still been no news, no reports, no announcement, no statement on anything, whether he's staying or whether he's leaving. On the Tottenham Hotspur side of things, Ange Postecoglu seems to be a major talking point and has been pretty much since the start of the season. I won't go as far to say a civil war, but there's strong opinions over there on the Spurs side of things. Should he stay? Should he go? Is he good enough? Etc. Etc. I'm sure all these things will be, all these things we will discuss, And as for Chelsea, they're the best out of the three. But even though they drew against 10-man Nottingham Forest, performing well, currently fourth in the Premier League and playing good football as well. And I see you lot in the chat mentioning the England game. We'll get to it as well. So normally it's just United, Chelsea, Spurs questions. That's fine. Any England questions we'll also get to. And I don't know about the news of the Saka injury, but yeah, we'll see what's what. Big up Warrior J. I just got that DM. But let me introduce my bro in the building. My like Jez is in the cut. Yes, Jez. What are you saying, man? What are you saying?
Yes, sir, people. What we saying, people? What we saying, man? What we saying,
man? Bless, man. You already know, Jez, man. Big up to everyone already in the chat. And I forgot to say, make sure you run up the likes. Whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back afterwards, hit the like button on the video. Make sure you share this across all the socials. That's Me Flawless, at Sarcasm City TV, at Sarcasm City TV, That's Me Flawless, across all socials. So retweet and like on Twitter. Make sure you share from the Instagram. And just as important, make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Big up TJ already trolling there, said it's coming home, lads. It's definitely not. Anyone who believes that is just lying to themselves per usual. Big up to Warrior J. Big up to TKL who's trolling. Big up Aces. Big up Chinlu as well in the chat. Like I said, the England game we'll get to. Big up Eli also says big up every time Flawless and the men them as well. Big up to the Benny who says, starting with Rodri and Son, so many well-known players, sudden injuries. I think this is some kind of dark arts, as Rodri talked about. Players are on a strike, and I don't blame the players. One thing that's going to happen in football, unfortunately, is injuries. Now, is playing too many matches, does that increase it? Yes, but I personally don't see the players going on strike.
I don't think this is a strike. I don't think this is a strike. I think this is more so about players knowing. Now, I think some of them are generally injured, but I think there's some other ones are generally just fatigued. Like I think even Palmer, when he got the first international break, he withdrew from the from the England camp, and obviously they said because he's still recovering from the injury, but he was still playing for Chelsea. That's why I feel like for me it was more of let's because you have to. Because the thing is, you have to put down a reason why you're leaving, for example. And obviously, and then based on that, this is then if they're going to let you go or not. And obviously, he's saying, I got the injury that I was trying to recover from properly. But in my opinion, I think it's as a cover up in terms of saying, yo, I'm just fatigued. I need some rest. And you see in the NBA all the time, load management and all that.
Load management,
you see it all the time.
100%. Yeah. 110%.
I worry. Same things. Yeah.
We'll start with you, Jez. Ange Postecoglu under pressure. Bad defeat, not scoreline wise, but how it happened at Brighton.
Yeah,
2-0 up, cruising, lose the game 3-2. So thoughts on that? Because Warrior J said I didn't hear Jez's thoughts on the Brighton game. But Jez, what was your thoughts behind the Spurs' second half collapse against Brighton?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna really talk about the first half because I think everybody saw the first half, and it's just you kind of go look at it and say, damn, great first half performance. International break is coming up. going into you would think second half you go out, you trying to keep it professional. If Brighton make it a bit difficult, you trying to fight back, but trying to get the deal done after having such a good first half, and then you go into international break and then you play early kickoff versus West Ham. So even if you don't necessarily get a great result against West Ham, at least you knew you won the Brighton game, especially away since we did won last season. So it would have been improvement from last season. So second half starts, 3 minutes in, Udogie makes a terrible mistake, which literally assisted Minter for the goal. And I had arguments about that. I mean, you saw some of the arguments I had. I don't know, for example, arguments about other people as well. Yeah, it's because obviously, if when Tottenham loses a game, it's the end of the world. Like you would think we got relegated, which is crazy.
No, that is it's like Manchester United, but hey, we move. I hear you.
Yeah, so obviously, so the discussion was already there because people were thinking that from that goal there should have been the warning signs seen. I don't think any manager necessarily takes warning signs of that because you would expect a player of Udogie's quality to deal with that. That's just the way I look at it. No, for me, where I would have looked at it is now I think between their first goal and their second goal, it was 7 to 10 minutes afterwards. I think that it was. So for me, this is where I feel like the manager you can maybe then say, okay, you see, okay, the pressure's still on. Brighton is getting onto us. You maybe have to make a change, or wherever it's substitutions, or if it's a substitution change, or if it's a system change, just something because you can clearly see something is happening with Brighton because Brighton is clearly trying to push and make it happen. So Absolutely. This is where my blame goes with the manager, and I feel like the whole trend just happened throughout that time until Brighton made it 3-2. Where I go now, this is the other side of me where I go massively into the players, especially the defense, because I feel like a lot of people making obviously the narrative about defense is not good, this and that, but I'm like, we all watched highline everything, but we watched the first half. If for me it's like cool. If we were struggling in the first half, I get it then, but for me to chop off so much in the second half. This is where, and from an individual standpoint, from every defender individually, Romero sleeping in his, Udogie just completely losing it, losing in the second half. It's definitely the worst game. It's the worst game I probably have even seen him since I've been watching him. This whole and I'm talking about I watched him in Italy still, so this whole much I have data of him, and this is generally his worst game probably. Van der Ven running into Udogie. When I think Ruta got through, Romero ball watching as Ballberg jumps up to get the header. Pearl just getting rinsed. So for me it's like yes, I know at Tottenham necessarily defending is not a big thing, but to chop off that much, I feel like this is where I can't necessarily put it all on the manager and say that loss is all on him because I feel like there needs to be a level of responsibility from the players and also the manager. And I think which is crazy because there's been a lot of big defeats under him last season. And he mentioned after the game, this was the worst result he had since his time at Tottenham. So this kind of shows you that he's aware that, because I even said it even after the game, like I couldn't go and be on Twitter or be in the group chat. I even missed the Q&A. From anyone asking why I wasn't on the Q&A, I missed it because I was just so hot. And secondly, because I thought it was going to be late on the.
Yeah, I forgot. That's on me, people. I forgot to tell Jess to move the Q&A from it.
So, because for me, I don't get that hot about Tottenham because it's like I know the level. It is what it is. Yeah. The reason why I was so hot is because you can't perform like this in the first half, just to then put what you did in the second half. And I feel like.
Yo. You there, Jez? Yago. Yo, if I gone, let me know in the chat, people. If I gone, I was just still there. Let me know. Let me know you look. I think I'm still there. I'm looking there right on the screen. Yeah, so I'm good. It's on Jez's side. But yeah, run up the likes, hit the like button, like Warrior J said as well. Make sure you share across all the socials, hit that subscribe button too. Jez will be back in a second. Don't worry about that as well. Just making sure, Spoobs. I was unsure. And before Jez gets back to that, big up to Warrior J because he's been kind enough to send me something in regards to Lisandro Martinez. So there's the report. So Lisandro Martinez is fit and fully available to play for Argentina and United. He is not injured or currently carrying any pain. Scaloni is managing the workload of several players, and everything indicates that Licha will rest tonight against Venezuela, so he will likely get his game on Tuesday against Bolivia and return to Carrington following that, fit and all ready to play. And that's from RXN Pixels on Twitter. So how reliable that source is, I don't know. It's international break, so you're going to get all these type of rumors. I seen Ben Chilwell to Manchester United. I seen Ollie getting linked to a major club in Europe. I was like, literally a slow news day. In regard to the Martinez situation, it's good that he isn't injured because he needs to stay fit for the season. Because that's been my biggest issue and biggest concern with Martinez during his Manchester United career is his fitness. He does need to pick up his form. 110% he needs to pick up his form. However, that's not solely on him, but Jez is now back in the building. Yes, Jez.
Yeah, I don't know, just why, but just was bugging. I don't know, bugging out. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, what I was saying is obviously now leaving off of the no, I think we went from what probably pissed me off as well about that is that we went from a win, which will have had us sitting at the moment in the table 6, with 1 point behind Chelsea, Aston Villa, and 3 points. But we would have been 1 point behind Aston Villa, Chelsea, and 4 points behind 4 points behind Arsenal and City. And I always say perception in football is everything, because I feel because obviously everybody obviously going crazy about how well Chelsea has started the season and how even obviously conversation, for example, Chelsea is no, they could make, can Chelsea maybe compete for a title? Me personally, I don't think so. Obviously, but you know what I mean in terms of, but there's a reason why these conversations start to begin with, because Chelsea are playing so well. They're playing good football. They're scoring a lot of goals. Yes, they concede, but they're scoring a lot of goals. So that's why they're in this conversation and they're winning games. But this is why I say perception is everything in football, because during this Brighton game, we went from and before, you know, all the conversations about Ange beforehand even. So you would have told me going into the second international break of the season, this Chelsea team that's been so great, everybody's raving about, and Ange, terrible manager, shit manager, and all that, is only 1 point behind that. And same with Emery. Same with Emery, whole the narrative about that is. That's what I say for me. Is like that's what I think. What pisses me off about more, obviously, because it's not that I'm looking at. And this is for anybody who's trying to say, "Oh, Jesse is trying to shit on Chelsea." No, I'm not trying to shit on Chelsea, but I'm trying to use the parallels and say why for me it's so important to say why for me at the moment in time I don't have necessarily the win for the manager, because one, I just don't have crazy expectations for this team at the moment in time, but also two, it's very early in the season for me. Like I can understand with certain managers and certain players, for example, Ten Hag, which we're obviously probably going to talk about later anyway, why we say Ten Hag can go. But let's be honest, a lot of people, if you ask rival fans, if you had to pick between both teams, a lot of people will say the Man United team and how the Man United team can compete for top 4. I've seen a lot of people put us between 7th and 8th this season going into the season. So it's not like we are far away from those places. And I don't necessarily disagree with those people who think we could be there. So that's why I don't have necessarily the pressure to get rid of somebody like Ange. But obviously, at the end of the day, obviously fan pressure at the end of the day will always something be. And for me, this next running was coming up, I think will tell us a lot in terms of what this team is going to be under him for the rest of the season. This next running coming up. If you can have a good running to the next international break, I think we can continue to be at least steady enough to be like, you know what, we're gonna finish in a Europa League spot, worst case scenario Conference League spot, or even push for a Champions League spot in 4th place. But if it's gonna be then the obviously conversation will be, as we have him currently, is Ange good enough? Do Spurs have to start looking for a new manager? But I'm at the moment not in the moment of distress. Like, I think this is probably this game and the Coventry game are the only two games where I've really been angry with him in
Mm.
terms of just from the management standpoint. Because especially Coventry, because at Tottenham, there's not many opportunities to go and win the trophies. I'm not saying that
That's,
we're favourites for the Carabao Cup, but
it's a
when you
trophy.
get
Yeah.
it's a trophy, and if you get a favourable draw, which Coventry was, you have to take advantage of that. And for
Yeah.
me, I was just angry from minute one because of the lineup in it, and I felt like that lineup will definitely lose you the game. But I can't make this excuse anymore. You don't know the squad. You know the squad because you've been here over a season now. So yeah, man, that's probably the only game really where I've been really genuinely frustrated and angry.
Mhm.
Leicester, Leicester was one of them ones. It's like I was pissed, but it was the first game of the season, so I'm kind of like I said, it's still early in the season for me to really be like get the dude out of here, anything like that. And I also mentioned before, the reason why I probably also don't have that much of a him is because I don't necessarily believe the manager that I would want the club is gonna get because of I think all those managers that I think we could get or which I would want
And
would
they're
rather
not attainable.
not that they're not attainable. Like if
Mhm.
you throw the money at them, I think they would come. But I think a
Okay.
lot of these managers would rather wait out and see what's in the market before they would make a decision to come. Like the slot situation, because slot was much higher in our initial list compared to Ange, but Slot signed a new contract because he knew maybe better job comes through, and
That's
as he's at Liverpool now. So that's why I feel like it would be a similar situation with certain managers that I would
yes.
want to replace Ange. So yeah.
Let's get to a couple questions just there. So these are some good questions. Big up Chinlu as always. He's also a member of the channel. Link for the memberships in the pinned comment. He says, question for Jez. What if the halves were reversed? Brighton go 2-0 up, then Tottenham score 3. Would the opinion be different? What do you think that would be? So say you had the start. So yeah, literally roles reversed. What do you think the conversation would be, even if you won the game?
I think the conversation would have been not as deep as it is because I feel like you won the game. And everybody's like relief, and then everybody looks at the table and says, "Hold on a second, we just 1 point behind Chelsea with one
It's
point
very
behind."
reactionary. It's
We
very
are
table
very, very,
reactionary.
yeah,
Yeah.
just very reactionary.
Mhm.
That's why for me, it's like necessarily why I don't have this whim to talk about manager necessarily. I don't think it's wrong to have the conversations. I don't think it's wrong about it because clearly there's frustrations that I have with the managers. People have frustrations with the managers, but for me at the moment, it's not like, oh my god, we're on a rush to do something here.
Mm.
Like, I don't think even if you get a new manager in, I don't think we get the top four unless we have a crazy purple patch for the rest of the season. So I'm not really here in a rush necessarily. But like I was mentioned, if the roles were reversed, I think the narrative wouldn't be as crazy as it is right now. And I generally believe that because we won the game, but because we lost the game, this is why it is like that.
No, that's fair. Fair enough. Also, Spoob says, Jez, what was the actual problem in the second half? Did they come out too slow, or did Brighton change up how they were playing? What do you think it was in particular?
I think one of the, which is funny, I literally said when I was watching the game by myself, I was literally saying, "Ah, shit, Estupiñán's coming on," because that guy loves turning up against Tottenham. He loves to have a game against Tottenham. So when I saw him coming on, and he's a left back, bro, but I knew when he comes on, okay, they're trying to they're trying to up their tempo, be a bit more front-footed in order, which they were to be fair, but with him especially, and I was a bit worried with Porono because you go on first half you had to deal with Kadioglu and you had to deal with Matoma. Kadioglu he's still trying to acclimatize to the league, so you can see he's not up to the pacing yet. But you still play with Matoma, so there's 1v1 situations there where like it could be speaky, but you can at least say, you know what, Kariuki played there. No, Estupiñán who knows the Premier League, who knows Matoma. Then this is where I got started to get concerned, and I felt like they tried to expose the side, which they did. To be fair, they started exposing the side a lot. Paul was starting to struggle. I felt like there was not enough help on this side, and to be honest, I was even thinking, you know what? This might be a game where you might have to bring in the second half. You have to bring in RG Gray because I believe RG Gray, from a defensive standpoint, maybe we will lose the attacking thing that Power brings, but RG Gray is defensively better than him, but also we're not going to lose the technical ability on that right back position for him. So I was like, you know what, we might as well. And you're also adding height and physicality with Archie because I think he's like 6'1". So I felt like maybe you could have done that as an sub. But then, do you want this would have been not his Premier League debut, but it would probably his second or third Premier League game as a sub then. And you want him to be against Mitoma. Not necessarily. You would rather have him start the game and just get into the game. I'll be honest, Booby. I'll be honest. I don't think necessarily that Brighton did enough to make me believe that. Okay, Brighton made us play that, but I think a lot what happened came down to us. I think a lot of we caused our own issues because even they scored 3 goals in the second half, and they created three big chances. These 3 big chances were all the goals. And they didn't do anything else then for the rest of the half because they knew, the game's over. Break us down. Madison was playing like shit in the second half. Kulusevski was playing like shit in the second half. The ball is not sticking in the final third anymore. The ball, like you saw how active Sri Lanka was in the first half. Everybody on the pitch don't even remember them in the second half anymore. Same with the rest of the attack. Like everybody just disappeared. So I feel like part of me felt like these players in their mind thought international break is coming up. It's 2-0 up. We're playing so well. The game's over. And it's just a bad mentality to just have. Because 2-0 is not a comfortable lead. I was saying, because people said, I saw people in this fan base say that Ange should have been a bit more conservative and defensive in the, coming up for the second half. I'm like, why not just get the third and kill them off completely? Because you can be conservative and defensively, but still concede a goal when you make mistakes like Edogi did. So for me, it's like, considering how well you played as well, we have to keep that in mind in the first half. Considering how well you played, I don't think it's necessarily wrong that you want to go and get a third goal and kill them and get all the confidence from Brighton away. But this is where I believe the players just buttled it in the defense from the individual standpoint. Because I don't think the defensive structure was necessarily an issue. As I mentioned, first half, players dealt with it. So yeah, I think this is just from just talking about from this Brighton game. So yeah.
And someone's form who's been concerning, and don't worry, you lot continue to get the questions in as well, just keeping United, Chelsea, Spurs related. But are you concerned with? I've seen people criticizing Romero. I've seen Jacob. Shout out to Jacob. Make sure you subscribe to United Spurs Romero. He swears and dies by Romero. Romero is a absolute top quality centre back in his eyes, and I've seen Jacob criticizing him. That's when I know his form's been bad. Are you concerned with his form currently?
No, I've been saying that all season though. Like, I don't think he's been great this season. Like there's parts in games where he plays really well, but the biggest issue is with him this season is how it's just always that one moment which always ends up costing us. There's times where maybe then Van de Ven sweeps behind him and clears, or the keeper makes a great save. But there's been too many games this season where I look at him individually and say, you know what? You're partly of the reason why we conceded the goal here. Brighton sleeping for the Welbeck goals. Newcastle just running like a headless, trying to press like a headless chicken. And then you saw the Harvey Barnes goal, but asking everybody's there bar you in the box then to defend. The same game, you saw what happened. People tried to say he was trying to play the offside trap. He wasn't playing the offside trap. He got caught stupidly. Arsenal got just losing his marker, and Gabriel gets a free header. Like, it's been too many games this season where I feel like even Leicester's goal against things just sleeping. Like, it just feel like he's just. My issue with him has been that the season is that it feels like he's not been locked in. Where you in situations where we need you, you don't seem to necessarily be there and step up. And people saying it may be the system. But I'm like, we played the same season last season, and I didn't have to complain. So what's the issue now?
Yeah, so you can't blame the system when you performed in the system last season, and now you're not performing.
And I didn't like and this is another thing that I'm saying is that a lot of people saying, especially against Brighton, the system. But these complaints that I had about the players this season of how we sometimes give away cheap goals. I didn't complain about that last season. I complained about more about the manager, about how we concede the goals. This season, I feel like a lot of the players are culprits of how we concede the goals, and I generally believe that. So it's like with Romero in particularly. So there's obviously conversation now. there's conversations because he's been linked to Real Madrid, and he has 2 years left on his deal, I think. No, sorry, he has 3 years left on his deal. Next year is going to be 2 years. So obviously, people saying Real Madrid are looking up, and he's maybe thinking about wanting to make a bigger move. And I'm like, I think it's just bullshit. I think he's just not playing well. And no, I just feel like people are not just saying a lot of things. Like I've seen people say 60, 70 million. I take that for Romero. Right now, I've seen people say
would you take it? Let's say you get that offer in January, 67. Would you take that offer? Would you sell him for that amount?
No, because not only how much does the centre market goes these days and how much you can get for a centre back, but also knowing that if we had to replace him, how much we would also have to spend for that.
True.
So I feel like with him having 2 years left, like this is the conversation that I did have. The fact that the next summer he's going to have a 2 years left on his deal. I did say in a couple group chats and Spurs group chats and all that if he doesn't sign a new contract this season, there should be the consideration selling him in the summer, and also having the idea of needing to buy somebody. And this is where you would think the club will be proactive and at least think of, okay, you know what, let's start scouting centre backs in case he doesn't sign a new contract in the summer and we want to sell him with 2 years left instead of 1 year. But do I trust the club to be this smart? Not necessarily, because we've seen that for the last how many years the ownership has been. So, yeah, concerned with him? Yeah, but I feel like he can pick it up, but it's all about him, to be honest. I don't think that it's a system problem, me personally. Like I said, the same system. It was the same system last season. I think even this season, ironically, I think we've been actually better defensively, which is the funny part. And I'm not saying that. Oh my god, we are just this defensive solid team. Teams still get chances against us, and it still annoys me. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that the way teams score against us is not like what happened last season, where teams would just counter us and expose us over high line.
You saying it's very lazy from people just as soon as you have soon as you defensively you have struggles, it's the high line rather than just individuals not playing well.
If people actually go and look at the goals that we conceded this season, I can probably maybe 2 goals that came because we played a high line. 2 goals maybe that I can say came because we played a high line. So this is why I say I think the argument this season has been very weak in terms of saying that Spurs defensively haven't improved. I think we have improved, but I think just people don't generally watch us. And when we lose games, like I said, when Tottenham loses games, everything has to be micro-analyzed.
Yeah, it's the worst of the worst. I hear you. Let me ask you.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, go on. Sorry, go on.
No, I want to say is that. Why do you think I don't go on Twitter after losses? Like the last thing I want to speak is to. I'd rather speak with Arsenal fans trying to take the piss out of me than with Spurs fans who are angry, bro.
Yeah, and that's it. Like in regards to you mentioned it there. It's literally a mirror match. Like when United loses, it's the worst of the worst. Like when we lose, like even the way people talk about us off the pitch and like how far we are away. Manchester United are a state. Do not get it misunderstood. But people acting like we're a million miles away from like being a cohesive unit or a million miles away from being top 4. We've won trophies. I keep saying this, we finished 9 points away from top 4 at our worst ever season. You don't have to be good. That's the point I always make. You don't have to be great. Now, if you're talking about going and winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, that's when you need to be at the highest level. And this is why I talk about just being a cohesive unit. I mentioned this. You get a competent manager. There's enough talent in the Manchester United team to be much better than what they are. But in regards to that, in regards to managers, Big Ange, I don't think I've ever seen, I can't remember more of a divide when it comes to a Spurs coach. You maybe can correct me if I'm wrong, Jez, in regards to, there's fans that absolutely love him and then I swear by him, and then there's fans who are like, want him gone. Because I've seen, like, for instance, Jacob, for instance. Again, shout out to Jacob. Make sure you subscribe to United Spurs of America. Swears by Ange. Swears by Ange Postecoglu. Rates him highly. Makes great points. But then on the flip side, I was watching Sava's stream the other day, a few days ago. Shout out to Sava. Make sure you subscribe to Football Heritage TV. Quality content creator, by the way. He was on a warpath. He had the StreamYard link in the chat and was like, this great manager Ange and blah blah blah. He's like, yo, come and debate me right now. Turn your camera on because you lot are nowhere to be seen when we have a bad result. He's not that great. He was just like, I felt bad. Just the fact I felt it was so crazy what he was saying and the rampage he was on. I felt bad for rating Ange, and I even a Spurs fan. Because I think Ange is actually a good manager, but he was crucified and he made valid points. So where do you stand? I was just using those two as examples.
Yeah, no, so like that's the thing, because like which is the thing. People might call me just on the fans and all that, but it's just because I'm just not necessary. I don't feel like I need to do the whole thing. I'm somebody that analyzes what I'm seeing,
Yeah, of course.
what I'm seeing, and I'm not somebody that necessarily said, let me run an agenda and just say, fuck it, this guy is shit, get him out of here, and that, without any reasons why. I wouldn't be somebody that necessarily, I wouldn't go and say, fuck it, Ange, I'm an Ange lover and all this without a reason. So this is reasons, like, I feel like both parties have reasons why they have their reasons, and I think they're also valid enough reasons to it, because I feel like in the end of the day, if you ask me from my perspective, I feel like one, as I mentioned before, is quite early in the season. Perspective is everything. Last season, ironically, at this time, we were top of the league. So just keep.
Because that's why I got labeled a Spurs fan, because you lot were top of the league and actually playing well. And I said, shouts to Spurs, they're top of the league and they're playing well. Literally, that's where it stemmed from. That's where the whole flawless is a Spurs fan on back again came from. Just because I said Spurs are playing well, they're top of the league. Oh, you love Spurs. And then I said it the week after. It's like because they won, because you lot won. You lot were top of the league for like 3 weeks? You lot were top of the league right at the start of the season. Or was it the first 10 games? Was it a couple months?
Yeah, it's like the first 10 games.
Yeah, the first 10 games you lot did well. So I'm saying that. And then that's why people, now for those that don't know, that's the origin story in regards to Flawless is a Spurs fan. That's where it stemmed from. Because I tried to fight it for a couple of weeks. And then I said, F it. And I just, like in wrestling, for those that know, like, you're supposed to be a good guy and they boo you. So I just turn heel and be a bad guy. I just let it, you believe that's what I am? Cool. And I'm going to go further with it to the point you lot don't like it. To the point Spurs lost to Arsenal and I was getting added about it. That's the craziest part. Spurs lost to Arsenal, this season, and I was getting asked.
This how you know you made it, bro. That's how you know you made it, man. They just rent free in everybody's mind, bro.
Rent free, that's why I just big Spurs for no reason whatsoever. Keep saying this, don't let Spurs win a trophy. I'm going to the parade.
Of course, it's
I'm going to the parade.
I'm saying, we probably milking the fuck out of it, bro. We don't give a fuck, bro. But no,
I'm going to the parade. Take a picture right in front of the trophy, right in front of the symbol, just to
come on, bro. But especially if it's a European trophy. Come on, bro.
Oh yeah. I've said this: if United don't win the Europa League, I want Spurs to win it, just for the chaos.
Bro. Come on, 100%, bro. Like, we all know Arsenal's not gonna go and get the Champions League, so that right there already. And Premier League, let's see, man. But I don't think so. They're gonna do the Premier League, but let's see. But bro, I'm just saying.
He said they are, but we move.
Like I said, the universe is not perfect, but it's just saying. But going back to what I was saying in terms of the divide between managers, like that, I feel like partly why a lot of people are so much of anxious because they do generally believe that he has the capabilities to be a great manager, but it just needs more time. Whereas other people, where the lust the impatience is that he thinks that, like, so one of the narrative is that because he thinks is that attacking football means you don't have to defend. And ironically, I said last season, I don't think last season he was training defending. I felt like last season was generally about letting players know how to play your system. But you can't expect everybody necessarily to go align with that. So it's, for me, the reason why I'm just not really either side of it is because I don't necessarily see exactly the reason why I'm not Ange in is because I have a lot of complaints, and I've been speaking about from a systematical problem on why, and also big thing, talent ID as well, that how it's so 50-50. One time you can bring me an Udogie and Van de Ven. Like, one time you bring me Van de Ven and Udogie and Vicario. Next thing you bring me Werner Johnson. Like, this is, and then Gallagher as linked. So it's two 50-50 virtuals why I can't. So these are the two reasons why I can't be Ange in my opinion at the moment. But the reason why I'm not Ange is because, like I mentioned, is that where it's necessary, unless it's really bad, like let's say Spurs are sitting 14th, 15th right now with Man United, and it's November. Let's say it's November.
Yeah.
We sit 12th, 13th. Then I maybe can hear the argument more. But I'm just asking people who are Ange is that what is the hurry necessarily? What's this thing of a new man? Like if people in the chat, I'm just asking if Spurs is getting a new manager, where do people rate Spurs then? Because I feel like a lot of people do think that United can be a lot better with a new manager. But
yeah, I put it this way. I think I'm not saying we top of the league, but we're better than 14th. That's what I say.
100%.
We're better than 14th.
Like, do you think Tottenham can be better than? I think we're 8th, 10th.
I think you're 9th.
Okay, 9th. Okay, so we currently 9th.
I
think with a new manager, I think we can maybe push them to 6th, 5th.
Well, I think that's fair.
So we're not far away. So for me, it's like the issue why I'm necessarily not the manager is because I feel like it's only one, way too soon for me to be manager of, and two is like, what's the hurry to necessarily like? Is it because you guys believe we can compete with top 4 generally? Do you think the team is ready to do that? Do you guys believe the team can actually go and win trophies? Like, do you think this team can go and win the Europa League? Which I almost think is not impossible if you have the good side of the draw. If you have a manager who knows how to win these cups, or like this is what I'm saying. Like I need to know from like the Ange out perspective, what necessarily is the hurry by getting out of here? Because I feel like there's a lot of complaints about Ange, which I think is valid. I don't necessarily disagree with some even of the takes, but what's the hurry of getting them out right now for what necessarily?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to us making sure that we have a better shot at the Europa League? Not all of a sudden. Is it because you generally believe this team should be competing for top 4? When reality, if you ask even most Spurs fans who are Ange out, don't rate the team too, which is the ironic part. But I'm just saying. That's why I say like obviously like I'm not some like before anybody says just as a happy clubber. I'm not a happy clubber. If it gets to a point where shit. Perfect
example.
Fine.
You are far from it. You are far from it.
I was Nuno out. I keep using this example. I was Nuno out 3 games into the season when he was top of the table.
Yeah, I was looking at Jez funny, like at that point. Them streams you can go back. I thought Jez was being crazy, but you know what? You were smart.
So for me, I don't necessarily look at this. So people can't call. First of all, just want to say people can't call me a happy clapper because I'm not somebody that actually ironically has a lot of patience. But I don't have a lot of patience. I really don't. So the fact that I'm saying this about Ange currently tells you how I probably right now feel at the moment of things. Because like I said, I just don't necessarily, unless you bring in a manager who is superior to Ange, that I generally believe so. Or even if it's somebody unknown, but then I make research and feel like, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let's try this. Let's see. But I feel like Spurs, what will happen is that we go get rid of. If we were to get rid of Ange, we get rid of Ange, and it would be a manager that I just don't rate because there's a lot of managers unknown. And this is probably my biggest issue is that not necessarily upgrading. Because I feel like I said, we're not necessarily winning these games. They're not necessarily being consistent, and because we're not winning games, everybody's just unhappy. Oh wait, well, we win games sometimes, but then we lose games like Brighton, and then everybody's unhappy. So this is why I'm neither manager out, I'm neither manager 100% in, because again, I think both sides has valid points, but this kind of shows to me also though how he's doing a lot better than the last managers, because I feel like last managers was very easy. The moment everybody was like, okay, get these dudes out of here with Jose, with Conte, with Nuno. So yeah, like this is kind of where I currently stand. My stance can 100% change by the time we get to the next international break.
Of course.
But this is currently where I'm at, because as I mentioned with Man United, it's going to be interesting because I don't think Ten Hag is leaving right now, and the next international break is November, and after November international break, the next one is in March. So there's kind of like the question mark of like, if Ten Hag is still here after the international break in November, are they gonna really sack him unless it gets? I mean, because it is already bad. I'm asking like, at this point, it's kind of like, how bad does it get?
How bad does it have to get? before they say, hey, you know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Pull the plug. That's what it
Yeah,
is. Big up to We Football for becoming a member of the channel. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. Link is in the pin comment. He just became a sarcasm citizen. Big up to We Football. Obviously, many great perks, including the fan calling show and jump in the queue. Big up to the match day guru, but please don't mention people on stream mention people in the chat who are not here, please. Thank you very much. Especially people I'm cool with. Please don't mention them because they're not here.
Yeah, man. Like if you have any mentions about things, just talk about what we talk about, innit?
Yes. Girls, you can question us, you can disagree with us. That's absolutely fine, but don't mention me, especially people I'm cool with. Like, come on now. Flawless hitting the sweet chin music, and he won't pass the ox. Facts, Sheik. Facts. Absolute facts. Before we continue, though, there's just over 70 of you lot in the building. I'm only at 43 likes. Let's get up to 60 likes, people. Let's get up to 60 likes. Let's hit the subscribe button. Let's hit the notification bell as well. All good, match day guru. Don't worry about it as well. In regards to Manchester United, I mentioned it at the top of the show with Martinez. It seems that the reports about Martinez.
Sorry, can I also like quickly?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go on, fam.
To Eli, who said, "What happened to Father Ange saved me?" Just Father Ange still. People think I'm changed on that. People think I would know what happened. What I said, I said. What I said, and I stand by that. That guy saved me from Conte, bro. Like I was on that time of the year. This is where I was at lowest of my lows in my life, bro. I was suffering. I was in the trenches. I was a bum. Man. I couldn't believe it, man. And then Ange came through and gave me those 10 games, bro. I don't care, bro. Like, he saved my life, bro. I don't know, bro. I wouldn't be on this football team no more if Conte was here for another season, bro. I'll say, so yeah, he still continued to save my life, and I will always appreciate him for that because, bro, Conte was doing some haram stuff, like, bro, you see Conte's recruitment in Serie A, bro. He would have continued that at Tottenham, bro. Man said McTominay, bro.
Yeah, McTominay, that's crazy, yo.
Come on, bro.
That's crazy.
He would have continued that at Tottenham, bro. I'm just saying, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro. Hashtag surviving Conte. Big up to Cheeks, bro. It was peak, bro. It used to be peak. So yeah, he did save my life, and I will always appreciate him for that, even if he gets stuck.
There we go. I'm saying there we go. Love that from Jez, the honesty. In regards to, I was mentioning Martinez, I mentioned it at the start of the show. Yeah, Jez is silly, Eli. I'm glad he is available. He needs to stay fit. Like I've been saying, he needs to stay fit, even though his form's not been the best. But the reason why I'm not crashing on anybody for anyone's form being that bad is because I know it's a shit show. I know. Like, even if you perform well, in the end, it ain't gonna matter. Of course, I want all my players to perform exceptionally well, but football's a system game, never before than in 2024, and it's going that way. We're watching it, we're seeing it with England, with their individual players. Like England individually, talent-wise, Phil Foden. Somebody asked, is Phil Foden a system player? Yes. Phil Foden is a quality player. Do not get it misunderstood. I rate Phil Foden highly. I think he's top quality. However, you can see a player of his caliber, and you put him in the wrong system and don't utilize him right, how he can look. What is it? 16 games with no GNA for Phil Foden. That should never happen. Let me ask you, would that ever happen at Manchester City? Hell no. Never happen at Manchester because of the way Pep has them set up. And you see it, especially with City players, how not many of them replicate their form for their country. How many of them do? Even though Bernardo Silva has been poor for the past couple of years, when's the last time Bernardo Silva has been on point for Portugal? Kevin De Bruyne for Belgium, Foden for England, Doku Doku's terrible. Haaland for Norway, even though it's Norway. Haaland's still capable of getting Norway to a playoffs, like Gareth Bale did to Wales. Yeah, Rodri's literally the only one. It's just Rodri.
Maybe, obviously, it's way too early, but maybe in the future, Savio. But then I think the type of player he is, he will always be so. But yeah, also of that, yeah, you're right. It's probably it's just at the moment just Rodri.
Literally just Rodri. There's no one else you point to where you go here. Diaz, Stones, maybe to an extent. Kyle Walker before the fall off. Like, there was no one you look at. You see Rico Lewis today. Rico Lewis was not high today, and I think Rico Lewis is a good player.
No, sorry, he was not on it.
But Rico Lewis wasn't high today, and the list goes on and on and on. So that's how I kind of look at it in regards to what was I talking about? Yeah, Martinez and Manchester United players, and yes, players still should be performing to a better level, but I know it's a shit show. Have you ever worked at a place and you just know it's an awful environment and you are not being put in a place to actually perform well. You are not being given all the assistance you can. You're handicapped from the jump going out there. As you see with our players, everyone's just tired. Everyone's just miserable. Time for this manager to go. And Colin, people have mentioned this. He says, I think United are just lining up the right manager. Maybe their target has commitment till the end of the season or something. Then think about it. They can't get the manager wrong in again and same mistake. I don't believe this to be true, Colin, but let's say it is. Sack this manager and bring in an interim. Problem solved. This is any reason and any logic, any excuses for these men or why they're doing this can easily be solved. If they're waiting on their manager, let's say hypothetically the manager they can't get they can't get for whatever reason. Let's say hypothetically that is true. Cool. You still sack Ten Hag and then bring in an interim manager. And then it's the same. And at least this season's better. We've Manchester United, you can't just write off a season. So you're just going to stick with someone we know is not good enough. No, scratch that. We know he's not good enough, and we know they don't believe in him because they tried to replace him in the summer. This is why I'm going to start pulling people up and have been when people say, oh, they kept him because of the FA Cup. No, they didn't. Because they tried to replace him after him winning after him winning the cup. After him winning the FA Cup, they tried to replace him. After the letter the fans wrote. So that tells you they didn't pay attention to none of that. Because if they would have done a deal with Tuchel, Thomas Tuchel would be the manager of Manchester United right now. There's no excuses for these men. Gutless, spineless, cowards, incompetent. And when I say that, when I call them things, that's from this whole, what's the word I'm looking for? This whole meeting and the fact we've heard nothing. The fact that they didn't sack him. Cowardly, spineless, gutless. Because if this was Glazers, we would have crucified them, and rightfully so. Because it's anybody, I didn't want any else in the first place anyway. I have no faith in these lot. No faith in these lot. What are you talking about? I better check now, Warrior J. Give me a sec. What did you share with, man? Let's see.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. Maserati has successfully undergone a minor precautionary corrective procedure after experiencing palpitations. Jesus. Hello, you couldn't have added more big words in there if he tried. It's a good job and well educated. There is a relatively common condition as he's expected to make a full recovery and be available for selection within the next few weeks. Love that, because I ain't nothing to joke with. So I'm glad that forget football, I'm glad he's okay. Love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Taravi says Ineos need to deliver, otherwise quickly United fans will turn. Yeah, United fans will get there, and me and Black Diamond will all be like, we've been here.
Which is crazy.
Just
I think
vouch for me.
people...
Like, I've been saying this from these men from the jump. It's all on live streams. That's why they had people in the chat trying to talk rubbish over the past few weeks. Oh, Flawless, I bet you were hyped about Ineos, or you backed it or wrote it. No, I didn't. Clearly, you've not been watching. Clearly, you've not been listening to me. So instead of just guessing and speculating, ask me and I'll tell you. If I'm wrong about something, I say I'm wrong about something. But Ineos are called to a T. There's no excuse for keeping Erik Ten Hag. No excuse. Whether you could get the next manager or not. Let's say the next manager's not available. Cool. You still sack him and bring in an interim to improve currently. Manchester United cannot sit and wait for a manager. What are we doing here? We are in no position. We can't just be wasting a season, which we could actually do something in. Yes. We could actually do something in the season. That's the craziest part. Trophies are there.
Mm. Right. No, the most thing is, I feel like I don't think it's just even Manchester United exclusive. I think no club, when it's time that they need a new manager, can afford to just wait for the right manager. I think no club can do that because, like I said earlier in the Q&A, I don't think there's a single club that went like just because the manager that we want is not available, we're just gonna stick with the manager what we have currently. I never seen that. It doesn't happen. Maybe international football, but in club football, no chance in club football. You can't get away with that because everybody knows how much money's in there. Like, just keep and Terry can. People also got to consider, just from a financial standpoint, Ten Hag already hurting United. But the fact that you can already tell, like, United's not getting Champions League. United might not even get Europa League again.
Might not even get Conference League.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, so you're losing money, but just. That's what when people used to say, they don't want to pay him out. Holy fuck, he's losing the money at the moment.
He's going to lose more money. The 15 million that you'd lose because of revenue. If you get to the last stages, that's more than 15 M's.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Even just qualifying the Champions League team as
rubbished
well.
it anyway. Ornstein said it has nothing to do with that. People need to stop making excuses for Ineos. They're incompetent. All these, they don't want to pay him out. It's FFP. Maybe they're waiting on the right manager. It's incompetence, people. There's no excuse for this behavior. Stop. Because if this was the Glazers, we wouldn't hear any of it. We would hear not a single word. Imagine it was the conversation was the Glazers are not getting rid of a manager because they're waiting for the correct one. Or if the conversation was the Glazers are not getting rid of a manager because they're waiting for the correct manager, we would not hear it. So why are we hearing it with these lot who have done nothing of note?
I think that's the point.
I live in hope. I live in reality. Sorry,
yeah, I think that's what I think we discussed earlier as well, is because people were just so fed up with the Glazers, and I think Brian made the good point, is that the Glazers couldn't make something good. United fans wouldn't praise them for that because of how long they just been here at the football club and how much shit they have made United fall down. But Ineos came in, it's new people, and what I said earlier as well is people saw football and people thought, oh, here we go. No, not everything's gonna change. The football and people can't even make the biggest decision, which is keep sacking the manager.
Basics. Fucking basics. It's not even difficult. And you know how you know it's not difficult, people? Because they tried to get rid of him in the summer.
Yeah.
Despite all the rubbish. Oh, they kept him because of the FA Cup. No, they didn't. If they would have done the deal with Tuchel, they would have got him. What are we doing about? What are we doing? In hindsight, flawless, all makes sense now. Glazers chose Ineos over the Sheikh. Ineos had their own reflection, just British. Currently, I look at them as Glazers 2.0. And yeah, it's kind of like that Black Diamond says, what logic? I can't find another girl, so I'm going to get married to a prostitute. It's kind of like that. Or they're doing the other thing where it's like, all right, well, it's not working out with this girl, but I'm going to stay with her until I find the next one. No, be single. Or in relationship terms, you can get an interim. You can get a girl who you know there's nothing long term, but short term is
like quick what's the quick, there we go, quick Tinder search, just a couple hookups here and there, and just to make sure you see what's the word, company that you have company with.
Company that you have company. That's it, literally. There's someone you know it's not serious with, but you're cool with and you can chill out with. But it's nothing long term. You both know what it is. That's the version of an interim. So you can do that in our lives. I'm sure the vast majority of us watching this have done this in our lives, but big Manchester United can't do it. Stop making excuses for these lot people. Are you done with Ineos long term? I feel like they've really lost faith with how obvious this car crash of a season was going to be. Yes, the reason why, my guy, that I lost faith in them, because the fact that they couldn't see this coming is extremely worrying. The fact that there's people who are much more qualified, way more qualified than me, been working in the sport for years, combined, there's probably 60, 70 years of experience between them all. If you add up like Barada, Ratcliffe, Ashworth, Wilcox, if you add up their numbers in terms of all of them and how long they've been working in the sport, it's probably 50, 60 years. How many qualifications have they all got between them? And yet I can, as a content creator, look at it and go, this is going to go terribly wrong. And they couldn't see that as extremely worrying. There's no way that I should be able to see something on the horizon that you can't. Stop thinking it's a light at the end of the tunnel when it's an oncome fucking train and I can hear the train. I can hear the train on the way. And I said, hey, the train's coming, you know. We better get off the tracks. The train's coming. And everyone's like, nah, it's calm. And carried on walking. I said, you know what? I'm off because the train's on its way. And then the train came and we got hit by it. And then everyone was like, whoa, I can't believe it. That's very concerning. If I'm spotting something beforehand, that is very concerning because there's no way I should be able to figure something out better than you, considering I have zero knowledge in the sport. I have zero knowledge in the sport. Never been in any boardroom in regards to the professional side of things at a football club. Yeah, go on, fam.
Bro, they're behaving like they're an episode of Family Guy, bro.
Yeah. You actually, literally, yeah. I hear you. Trust. For true. I can't believe it. It's outrageous. I can't believe it. For true. I really can't.
Oh, chilly.
I really can't.
It's crazy. You made the perfect example that with us, like on the Mandem show, is that Ange wasn't like even a second, third option. He was seventh, eighth.
Yes.
So it's like when you have clearly clubs can identify, even when a guy maybe doesn't seem as like an option likely at first. When your first and second, third options are rejecting you, but your current option is not good enough, you still continue because, like I said, there is hundred thousands of footballers. There's a lot of managers out there. Shit, fuck it. You can even go as far as maybe fucking say there might be even a female manager who's better than Ten Hag right now.
Just as it is. Taravi says,
You know what I'm
Florence
saying, bro?
fees, if you don't, can you name a few managers you feel would be good at? I think Amarim would do fine. I think a Thomas Frank would do fine. I think a Marco Silva would do fine. I think anybody who's just competent. And that's not to take Manchester United to the very top, but I'm saying just make us a competent, cohesive unit. I think any of those three managers, I think Tuchel would do all right. I might even have sold on two. I think Potter would do okay. Bear in mind, 4 of those 5 managers I am not sold on, but they would do okay. I could support it, even though I'm not like Amarim's my first choice, but others I just name a Marco Silva, a Thomas Frank, a Potter, a Tuchel, Honus. They do fine. Yeah, they do absolutely because they at least implement a style and a system and a way of playing, which again is half the battle. You have a system and a way of playing, that is half the battle because then the players know exactly what they're doing week in, week out. And then if you get the right profiles, all of a sudden you can do it. Yeah, McKenna would have done fine with this. Literally. I think I got people in my phone book that'll do a better job. At this point, I think I could do just as bad a job. That's where I'm at with it. Like I just spoke about Ineos and their lack of awareness in this car crash of a season that was on the horizon. The fact that I think I could do the same job as Ten Hag tells me all I need to know. I'm not saying I do a better job. I'm saying I could do the same. I could do just as bad as him. Legit. Because I ain't no footballing manager and I would fail at that level 110%. However, the fact that I'm saying that is a problem. Terrible. How am I running? I run my pro clubs team better than he runs Manchester United in game. When I play 5-a-side, I coach the team better than he coaches our team. Ask Victor if he was there in the chat. Me and Victor have played 5-a-side. Ask him. Like I don't be out there as I'm playing, coaching the team off the pitch. I don't. As you hear me on clubs when we're in a game, I don't shut up. I'm like that on the pitch, depending on what's going on. Constant instructions. So why ain't you coaching? That was my pro clubs team. Sheik's in the chat. No, everyone knows exactly what they need to do. I don't even need to say it. Speebles is in the chat. Sheik's in the chat. They know exactly how we're going to play. They know exactly what they need to do. And we do the same thing every session. Basics. But Manchester United don't. All right. I'm back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, back these lot. Fucking
bro,
idiots.
you've been like you might have to start recording yourself and just play your thoughts because like bro, this is gonna be as long as he's gonna be here, you might as well just keep it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I literally could just blank out, insert opposition name here. I mean, opposition team, opposition player. That's the only difference. It's legit the only difference. It's the same shit. It's the same shit over and over and over and over again. It's the same thing. Absolutely.
It's just the mad thing as well because it feels like that's why it's just mad. It's like you would like as footballing. If you're not footballing people and you're bankers, you would definitely look at this the spreadsheets. You would look at the result and feel like, okay, you know what? We drew to Porto. FC Porto were a big club in Portugal, and we drew against Villa. Those people would maybe have that mindset of, you know what? He's doing a good job. Decent job. He's getting he got the result that needed. But footballing people, surely you've seen, and this is the funny part about it. They're on the pitch. No, they're in the stadium watching the games. It's not like they're watching on TV.
They're there.
Like shit. It gets to a point where I ask myself, do these people actually need to actually watch this game on TV to see the full picture? Because clearly in person you can't see it.
Yeah. Like legit, that's it. Like word to Jay-Z from Renegade. Do you listen to what did he say? Do you listen? Oh, what is it? Do you niggas read? What was it? Oh, what's the bar? Let me actually make sure I get it right. It's a bar from Renegade. Nah, you don't know it. Do you? It's a classic hip hop track. It's Jay-Z and Eminem. Okay. Renegade is a fire tune, the trance tune. And he says,
Okay.
wait, I just want to make sure I get it right. There it is. Do you listen to music or do you just skim through it? That's how I feel about it. Like in regards to what you're saying. Do you watch what's going on at Manchester United or do you just skim through it? Do you just watch the highlights? Are you not paying attention and fully aware of what is going on? Yeah, that's the bad Chindu. Do you listen to music or do you just skim through it? Renegade Fire Tune for those that haven't heard. Jay-Z at his best, Eminem at his best. One of the best hip-hop tracks, like two heavyweights. Yeah, they went at it on that tune. Do you fools listen to music or do you just skim through it? I can't remember the next bar after that. But that's what it is. It's like, do you watch the game or do you just skim through it? Do you just sim it like it's FIFA? Because like Jess said, they're there and have been there and watching. Even outside of the Villa game, last season you was watching, this season you was watching. It's worse when you're there because you see the whole pitch. Whereas when you're watching it on TV, there's things they won't show you. That's why when I went to the Arsenal game last season, when United played in my OT, I crashed it on the Hoyland because I was watching him and I was like, you don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd watched you legit not make any runs. I didn't see you try spin off either centre back, run into the channels, drop short for the ball, nothing.
It's crazy because after the game, the narrative was that the white players are not supplying him, but that's why I lose. So Lanka is a perfect example. Is that Sri Lanka is not necessarily going to score a banger goal, or I mean, I would think it's a definition of not supplying our striker. Yet he's still active, at least out there, and he makes himself a presence out there.
It's outrageous, man. And people will excuse this. And it's like the manager's terrible. Yes, the players aren't good, but I have to hold the people who are keeping him in charge accountable.
No, man.
I have to hold you accountable. I do. But hey, Manchester United for you. And I said this all at the start. I had an interest in Ineos from the beginning. And they've just proven me to be right. I shouldn't trust you. And I don't. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. But you lot, final few questions before we close out, man. Final few questions before we close out. And big up to Sheik says, Jez, that's a great point. Crazy thing is, Sir Jim said he wanted to get the best of the best. I don't know whether these men are truly footballing people or not, but like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm telling you.
I mean, you would think with the pedigree and everything where they've been at football clubs, or could it be maybe the thing is that people look at too much of the fact that a lot of them came from City. Like I did say about Dan Ashworth is that he doesn't really have a massive impressive he doesn't actually have an impressive CV, to be honest, in terms of what he has done. Like for a club like Man United, this by the way, in context of that, to go to Man United, then like if he would have gone to us or if he would have gone stayed at Newcastle, I think it would have been fine. But I think for a club of magnitude of Man United, I don't think it's like necessarily a CV that's as impressive as people make it out to be. But then you see the World Cups, you see the Boradas, and you see Man City, and I think a lot of people look at that and say, "Oh shit, they came from Man City, or they were at Man City, so there's clearly they know the stuff." But
it's outrageous.
We see it right now.
It's outrageous, fam. It's outrageous, and people will back this. That's the craziest part. Is people trying to make excuses for it. That's the wildest shit.
Sometimes you just have to be honest. Like it's cool. Yeah. It's cool to criticize. Even City fans criticize. Tixie is obviously leaving in the summer. The director of football at City. I've seen City fans on the timeline complain about Tixie, and he has done so much for them. So it's always saying like you can't even criticize people who are doing great when you clearly see they're not doing a great thing. You can always do that.
Crazy. I've never seen some just utter woke stupidness. It's not even more. It's just utter nonsense. Mm-hmm. Forget the woke. It's just utter nonsense. I don't get it. That's what it is. Forget the woke. It's just utter absolute nonsense. And big up to Eli says, I keep it a buck flawless. I tried to pass out the Kool-Aid when they started moving brazy in the market, but you've been consistent with the Ineos doubt. Yeah, I ain't no fool. That's why. I respect you because I would have been trying roles reversed. I would have tried to pass you the Kool-Aid too. I'm saying I am a habitual Kool-Aid seller. You know what I'm saying? I sell Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, anyone, man, who will buy the Kool-Aid of rival fans. I'm with it. I got all the flavors. All the flavors. Grape, apple, blueberry, blackberry, orange, apple, whatever flavor you want, we got it in the Kool-Aid right here for you. Tropical, grape. This goes on. Pomegranate, whatever. Cherry. Yo, this goes on, people. Flawless. Yes, I am doing the Brazil watch along. Yes, I am doing the Brazil watch along. I know the game kicks off in 5 minutes, but we'll be on here for 5 to 10 more minutes. But the Brazil watch along will be on the playback, people. So get over to the playback. But I'll drop the link in the chat in a second. But it's playback.tv/sarcasmcetv. I don't to answer your questions, Doctor. I don't know what's going on with the Kwanzaa situation. I don't know what's going on with the Philly situation. I haven't done my research, so I can't comment on either situation. Flawless, what's your next realistic sign in one name? Who do we get? Who's the manager?
Yeah, that's the most important part. Like, at this point, it doesn't matter. Like, bro.
Yeah, it's like it's the manager. Like, that's what it is. Like the manager, and then I can tell you, all right, go and get such and such. How are we even trying to play yet? Yeah, that's what it is. And you wonder why people call you a crook, laughing my ass off. No, I just sell people what they want to be. They just want to buy it. If they ain't gonna buy it off me, they ain't gonna buy it. Kool-Aid, you don't even have to sell Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid sells itself. Everyone's seen the Chris that you lot might have not. Chris Rock made a great joke when he's talking about drug dealers, like, and Jehovah's Witnesses, and he's making a difference when he was saying drug dealers don't sell drugs; they offer drugs. He's like, I've never heard a crack dealer say, "How do I get rid of all this crack?" The drugs sell themselves. But then he was saying the Jehovah's Witness, on the other hand, whole different thing. Like, and that's what it is. Drugs sell themselves. I've never heard someone who sells weed like, yo, how do I get rid of all this weed?
Bro, dude,
never in life. Never.
Do you be seeing the Kool-Aid package, but don't even know it's the Kool-Aid inside. Yeah. But they saw the Kool-Aid package and say, yo, I need the Kool-Aid.
They believe in it. I'm just offered the Kool-Aid. I'm just like, all right, cool. I just don't judge you for it. Yeah, you don't need no sales pitch. Kool-Aid sells itself. So you got people running around here talking about Arsenal going in the league, going to Champions League. Tony talking about, oh, they're gonna go invincible, and I get blamed for it. They're gonna go invincible. Shout out Dal, he's always blaming me. Oh, you gassed him up. I gassed him up. He said that himself. You believe in Arsenal. If you believe in Liverpool, that's on you. That's on you. If you don't want to look at the reality of the situation, it's a side effect of Kool-Aid. I'm saying it's not reality. It's delusion is a side effect. You want to drink it, you know what time it is. Flawless, the Kool-Aid better not be sugar-free. Nah, no sugar-free. Plenty of sugar, man. My Kool-Aid proper. Come on now, Ravi. My Kool-Aid proper. Earl says, Flawless, you're the one supplying the Kool-Aid. Facts. But Kool-Aid, like I said, I supply it. It sells itself. It's not a tough sell. It ain't a tough sell at all. It's not. Depending on how much weight they hold in, bro. You just need to deal with the right people then. I'm saying, if you hold in too much weight that you can't move, and this is all hypothetically people, you need to talk to better. You need to talk to, we need to up in the ranks and talk to people who will buy more. Just saying. Hey, Godfrey, big up as well, man. Large up. I don't even know where this game is at, this Chile Brazil game. I need to find it somewhere, people. I have no idea what it's on. I need to find it somewhere.
I would pull up to the stream, but I saw the Brazilian lineup. I'm like, gee.
Go on, what's the Brazil lineup, Hills?
So holy. So they have a striker called Igor Jesus from Botafogo in Brazil. He's starting. Then behind he has Rodrigo, Rafinha, and Savinho. Midfield of Paqueta and Andre as the pivot. And then they have a back four with a guy that's not even a pitcher at left back. His name is Oliveira, who's playing at EC Sao Jose. I don't know where that is. And then centre backs are Gabriel Marquinhos, Danilo at right back, and then obviously Ederson at goalkeeper since Alisson's injured.
Oh, soon, yeah, that ain't it. And to anyone, is it on ESPN Plus? Let me know if the game's on ESPN Plus.
Let me see what this website says, man.
Let me know. Brazil lineup, yeah, it's not the best, but I was like, it's content, and that's what it is. Quick question: when we playing Sparking Zero, I think Jez is playing that soon. New Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, so I got the game. Obviously, literally might as well go and promote it. Obviously, people, and I rebranded, so you can see underneath here, bottom left, both Twitch. So I still use if people follow me on my Twitter, which that is called Hokage Jez. I still use it, but that's my personal account on Twitter now. So but I made a new Twitter account that's just for my content. So where I pretty much post links wherever I'm live. and all that stuff. So it's called, as you can see, it's called for people asking how to pronounce it, it's called the Black Saint, and it's both on Twitch and Twitter. And I will be playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero from tomorrow, because today is just a bit too late now, and I just need some rest and need to get some things done as well. So yeah, if people want to follow me on Twitter to have notifications on and want to know when I'm live, or if people want to go to my Twitch and follow me and just watch me play Dragon Ball and rage and just go crazy. The choice is yours, but everybody's welcome. Everybody welcome. We just want to have a good time over there. So yeah, just trying to be more I'm trying to be a bit more consistent. So yeah, man, I'm trying to be, and I feel like with this game, I feel like from what I've seen so far from people playing it,
man.
I generally can. I feel like I generally can be consistent with that.
Let's go.
So yeah, and for people asking who's going to be my main, literally person in my character, my Abby right now, no say Lord Beerus. So that's going to be my main. But, yeah, but I think I'm going to be playing the story mode first though. So yeah, I've been hearing rumors. You know that when Goku's fighting Vegeta first saga in Dragon Ball Z. But when people remember when Vegeta turned into the Great Ape. But I'm low key scared because everybody and their mother's telling me that the Great Ape fight in super difficulty is so hard where the game starts asking you if you want to lower the difficulty. So I've been seeing this crazy. So I'm scared. So people, and I'm a hilarious person when I get angry to people. So if you want to see all that, follow the Twitch, man. You're gonna be there.
Why my connection started moving funny, but yeah, I'm there for that, people. I will be. We are gonna close out this show. I'm just trying to find this Chile Brazil game as well. But big up to everyone that's locked in, man. Absolute real ones, even though it's international break. You lot still been supporting, even though it's and not that you lot don't support, because you lot support all the time, people. You know what I'm saying? And that you lot always supporting. So I appreciate it genuinely, man. Genuinely to everyone, all my co-hosts. Genuinely to all of you lot in the chat, even if you watch back live, even if you watch live and you're not in the chat, I appreciate it. Everyone who listens on all the audio platforms, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever, big up to all of you lot for real. Big up to YG as well. And Dragon Ball Z is a TV show, Black Diamond. It's a bit before, yeah, because you're older than us, so it's like my generation and younger. It was like the biggest cartoon. Like it's still one of the biggest cartoons at that time.
Even after,
like it's well known.
After finishing,
like Power Rangers after Power Rangers. It's kind of like that. Like every now and then a cartoon or a show will pop up and come around. That is it. Like how old is your son, Black Diamond? How old is he? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah,
like Dragon Ball Z was it. Like if you're a 90s baby, like I am, or younger, trust me, Dragon Ball Z.
Probably would have seen it.
23.
You will, 23 years. So he's literally my age. He's literally my age.
If he's Jez, that's how I look. It transcended from Jez's age to mine, and Jez there's a difference in age between me and Jez. How old are you, Jez?
23 as well. Yeah, 23.
Yeah. So yes, there's a big age difference between me. And
my older sister is, just in reference, my older sister is 32 now, and she also watched Dragon Ball.
Because it's that age, it's that around it. Exactly that. If you're a 90s baby, that's what it is. Dragon Ball Z is still like I can sit down and watch it now. And when clips come up, it's like I remember stuff word for word. Like Goku turning Super Saiyan is like I remember that vividly. Going mad watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy.
See, the out of context, it does sound a kind of bit sus. It kind of does sound sus. Dundada. But then when you watch it, it makes a lot of sense why it's called that.
No way, Chile scored. Outrageous.
Yeah, Chile scored. Man. I can tell you, this Brazil team is dead. That's why I'm probably still going to tune in because I don't know who else is going to tune in. And it's just company and that. But I'm gonna need to lay down for a bit, man. For just
do you think, man? Go rest, fam. I get you. Big up to Collins. Says big up, bro. You're the one putting the work, and I just hope you get the subs you deserve. Hey, you lot just keep supporting. I appreciate the kind words, Colin. As long as you lot keep supporting, that's all that matters. Keep hitting the like button, keep subscribing, keep sharing across all socials. Keep being in the chat. That's it, man. That's all I need you lot to do. That's all I ask, man. All that is for free. For real. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z is goated. It really is. Trust me. It really, really is.
Some of the shit that you probably see me play, because you probably haven't seen after Dragon. You haven't seen any Dragon Ball after Dragon Ball set?
Nah, I stopped watching after Dragon Ball Z. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was saying like so. You're gonna see some loads of PS5.
Okay. Now I need to get that. I need to get this game.
Yeah, bro. Because what's it called? It's crazy because I only followed. They didn't release it for PS4 because I feel like because of the requirements, it needs to be PS5 and obviously the next Xbox generation that also equal to that. So yeah, this whole I know the game is like, and I've been hearing this is probably the best anime type game since probably maybe now to Storm 3 or 2, and this is like years ago. Like I was probably still in Germany when that Naruto game came out, and this is years ago. So this is what I'm saying. Like that's why it's so big and why it's so popular right now.
Thanks. Still can't find this good game, but we move. All right, we're gonna close out. I don't know why my internet connection is moving dodgy, but we move. You lot can still hear me, even though it's a fuzzy camera. Don't forget, this show, all the other shows on the channel are available on all audio platforms, people. So Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV. However, we're going over to the playback right now, people. Get over to the playback for the Chile versus Brazil watch along. I know the game started 6 minutes ago, so we're going to go live immediately. We're also going to redirect to my guy Marshall on Casually FC. So put Sarcasm City Raid in the chat while I try and find this game. But love, big up to everyone that's locked in. Get over to the playback if you haven't, people. Get over to the playback if you haven't. I don't know why this thing is showing us. What is going on? Like, all right. No idea. Let me drop the link in the chat before we close out anyway. Playback.tv/sarcasmctv. That's playback.dot. Playback.tv/sarcasmctv, people. You see it right there in the chat. Premier League, Champions League, Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup, NFL, boxing, NBA, UFC, all watch-alongs over there, gaming content as well. But big up. Love to everyone that's locked in. It's been the Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur show live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.